Maybe that's what happened to me. First Sunday. You ever forget things? You know, how many times you wear my glasses, you know, and they're on your head, you know? That doesn't happen to me because I can't see anything without them. But those of you that do that, you ever gone into a room to get something and when you get in a room, yeah, or gone to the grocery store when you get to the grocery store? Or went to introduce somebody that you know really well and went, this is... Don't you hate it when you forget things like that? It's just things that you know. Well, if that's how we are about little things, like then how much more important is it when we think about our spiritual life, our life with God, and how easy it can be to forget that, and how dangerous it can be when we forget that. You know, you just get a little busy, don't get to your prayer this morning, and you're kind of frazzled, and before you know it, you're kind of sliding a little bit, you know, or maybe you go for a little while, not nurturing that life, and then you know you're at the water cooler at work, or out at the work site, or at the school, and some people over here talking about something and doing a little gossiping, and before you know it, this time you're drawn in. When normally you'd never be drawn into that, but this time you're drawn into it, you know, because you can't resist it. You know, how easy it is to forget who we are. How easy it is to forget who we are. That we're children of God. We're created by God. We're saved by God. We're loved by God. We're watched over by God. But it is so easy to forget that. And some people have developed little helps to remember how to do that. Any of you ever heard about having a little cross in your pocket? You know, and you put your hand in your pocket, you get your change, your keys, and you feel the cross, and it's just a little way of remembering who I am. I'm a child of God. God is here. God is with me. Here's a little rock with a cross on it, designed to put in your pocket. You know, just another way. And I kind of like the weight on this one because it kind of reminds me that it's there even when I don't put my hand in my pocket. I can remember that God is here. Some people I've seen do cell phones, the front of their cell phone. They put something, you know, that screen when you first open it up, something on that screen that reminds them of who they are, that they're a child of God. Because it is so easy to forget who we are. And when we do, people get hurt, including ourselves, but also other people. You ever get tempted to forget who you are because somebody else has a better life than you, or you think they have a better life? Things are going hard for you, and so you look at them and you say, God's really favoring them. You know why God isn't favoring me? I think every now and then all of us might be a little tempted to feel like God likes somebody else better than us. And we know that that's not true. God loves everybody. But sometimes when we're really going through very difficult times, we can feel like that. Like, man, these other people over there, they are just so blessed. I had some friends like that in seminary. Their marriage looked so perfect. Their marriage looked so wonderful. Now after 25 or 30 years later, it ain't so peachy keen anymore. Everything looked good on the outside, but they forgot. How easy it is to forget your center. The Jews walking through that desert. Well, it's easy to remember when they see the Red Sea part. It's easy to remember when they go pick up the manna the first few days. Or when they find water in the middle of the desert. It's easy to remember that God is there. But after 20, 30 years, and you're still living in tents in a desert and moving from this spot to another spot, you don't feel like you're making any progress. And you look at these peoples over there. They're living in houses. You're thinking, I thought we were God's children. Why are they living better than us? God must be blessing them better than us. And then then the grumbling starts, doesn't it? You know, because we feel discontent. And we start grumbling and complaining. And Moses and Aaron knew all about that. The frustration that people felt. They would forget who they are. So God said, tell them all to put fringe on the corners of their garments. Everybody. Now, they all had fringe anyway, so that wasn't that odd of a thing. But now, the idea was that you grab that fringe and remember who you are, that God loves you, that God is with you, that you're a child of God. Remember your center. And he also said, put a blue cord on each corner. Everybody. Every last person needs a blue cord. Well, the only way to get the blue dye was from these little snails that were very hard to find. And you had to squish a whole bunch of snails to get just a little bit of blue dye. And after generations and generations and generations, and that was the only way all of the societies back then, even up until the time of after Jesus, could get blue or purple dye, was from these little snails. After generations of hunting these snails, the snails would become more and more difficult to find, rarer. And what happens to the price of the dye? It goes up. So what God is saying here, everybody needs to have a blue corner on each corner of their garment. What he's really saying is that to us would be like each person needs to sew a diamond onto each corner of their garment. Now you're going to take care of that garment in a different way, aren't you? Because most of us can't afford to go out and replace 4 diamonds if we have to. We're going to take care of that garment in a different way. The blue thread, one little thread would be so valuable that you would put in your will who would inherit that thread. You pass it down just like you pass down jewelry. So now you take care of this in a much more respectful way. And you remember that this blue cord, who gets to wear the blue? Royalty. That's who gets to wear the blue. Royalty. Who's with the royalty? Everybody. Everybody's a princess or a prince of God. Romans says we all inherit. What do you need to do to remember who you are, to keep your focus? Maybe you need to sew 4 diamonds on the 4 corners of your white shirts. I don't know. Sounds silly, but if it saves your soul, it might be worth it. Find ways of remembering who you are, a beloved child of God. And yet we all mess up sometimes, don't we? We all mess up. And we don't remember who we are, and we hurt others. Jesus was willing to do anything at all for us so that we could have healing and hope in life. Anything, even dying on a cross. And so periodically, at least once a month in this church, we come back here and kneel and receive the body and the blood. Because we need that forgiveness that symbolizes, that renewal that it symbolizes, that mercy. No matter how broken things are, God can make life out of it.